Good afternoon. My name's Tom Shepard, and I'm joined with Emily Charnota and Niclas Heescher. We're representing Prospiant greenhouses. Niclas is with the Novavert system. We are building a partnership to bring to American horticulture a new retractable roof system. Prospiant greenhouses is primarily known for the Veil, the Teton, the Polyarch, open roof, and such as that. Now we're bringing a new product to bear. We'll be real excited to give you guys the first peek at that. Tony Abbas, our vice president, was supposed to be here today. We apologize he is not here, but I think we're in good hands now that Niclas has joined us. Emily and I are excited to be the presenters and let you guys know the beginnings of what we think is the far superior retractable roof system.
So Prospiant has two manufacturing facilities. We have one in Cincinnati, Ohio that just went up in January. It's going to be a 100,000 square foot facility that's all state of the art. We also have another 100,000 square foot facility in Kingsville, Ontario. We just finished both of these. This is our offices out of Cincinnati. And then here's a look inside some of our facilities as well. But for the Novavert system, that's what we'll be talking about today. We're going to be talking mainly about the HS2 system, going over some of the distinctive factors that make it truly a better system than any of its competitors. One of the main differentiators is the enhanced structural integrity. Unlike any of the other systems that use fabric clips, the HS2 system is going to be using aluminum extrusions that support the entirety of the fabric. This makes it much more durable to hold up against any kind of weather conditions and increased structural loads.
All of the substructures for the Novavert system will be manufactured by Prospiant, either in our Cincinnati office or in our Ontario office. The system that I've seen in Florida has been up 7 years and has been through multiple hurricanes in the panhandle of the state of Florida, which has had horrendous hurricane pressure in the last few years. I was very surprised when I got there at the quality of the cloth. Niclas joined us on that site visit. When we speak about the cloth, it is one of the secrets to the success is the cloth is fed through the aluminum extrusions. Our competitors use a 200 gram material. Ours is minimally a 280 gram material, and where necessary, a 400 gram material. There's two possible solutions using the Novavert. The first is a brand new structure. That would be this HS2 system, where the individual panels are roughly 2 feet wide and the full span of the greenhouse width. The retrofit system is a Bravo, and that would use a full 12'6" panel as a replacement for previous products from competitors.
So, as he mentioned, they have the about 2 foot span of the panels on the HS2 system, and that's a side pole film panel design. It allows for the roof installation and replacement to be done on top of the roof rather than having to bring in equipment and move all of the merchandise out of the facility, and it allows for much easier access for replacement.
We just finished a facility, we just finished an HS2 system at our manufacturing facility. This system is just mainly a showpiece, but secondly, we're using it for our loading area. That span of that building is 52 feet wide. The pitch of the roof that Novavert recommends is 2.5 degrees to 5 degrees. So it's not a flat roof system, but it's almost flat. Our competitors do not tout their system as watertight, and we don't either. We call ours near watertight. So I drilled into Niclas today about that. Are we talking 98%? Or are we talking 99? And his answer was 99.9. So we're not going to say the word watertight, but I will say the words of the grower in North Florida when I asked him, and he comes from a deep greenhouse family, is this watertight? His answer was yes, it's watertight.
also can be integrated with a numerous of other screen systems like insect netting, any additional control layers that you might need. It's a very compliant system with anything that else you might have on top of it. The next thing that we'll be touching on is the enhanced load capacity. It is much, much more durable than some of the other competitors out there.
I'm going to bring Niclas in now. Can you give us an idea of the load testing you did at the trade show where you piled the bricks on to the HS2 system?
Absolutely. Hope I'm audible. So first of all, thanks for having me here at the show.
You're welcome.
And thanks for pushing this product so far. The load testing that we did at the other show was a couple of years back, and we had like a demo stand. People were jumping on it. People were like 2-3 guys on like 1 square meter surface. And we took it home because we got a little frustrated. We just couldn't break it. We just didn't find the weak spot. And you know, when you build a car, you crash tested it and then you analyze the weak spots. And we just couldn't find the weak spot in that system there. So we took it home and we put it in front of a camera and we started putting brick on. We had it on a scale, and this video is still online. You can see it. So we ended up putting roughly 1,000 kilograms of load on that square meter, which is ridiculous. We're never going to talk about that kind of load in any scenario. And what then happened was that the frame snapped. We had to build it out of a tiny aluminum frame structure. Obviously nothing that you guys would build or that anybody else would build, but it was just proof to say that it's impossible to pull the material out of the profile, and the seams are so strong that we have no reason to be worried about it at all. And we've been producing this for a couple of years now, so I think we've got pretty good control of our production process and about the quality that we produce with that.
And the system itself is designed to support about 1,200 kilograms per meter, so that is much stronger, holds up to a lot higher snow loads than most of the other competitors.
Yeah. Our competitor's system is simply an interior shade system being used as an exterior cloth, keeping some rain off. Our system is different in that it is near watertight, and the savings are seen in the installation, and moreover, the savings are seen in the recover. Yesterday on our garden center tour, I spoke with the owner who had a competitor's building, just recovered a half an acre, and it took a full crew of guys a week to do. Niclas, when we joined each other in North Florida, the builder there said after all of the aluminum extrusions were up, structure was complete, it took 2 men 1 day to cover an acre in their first time ever building one. And so, secondly, another test case for this was an acre-sized facility in California. The competitor's labor time was 90% larger than the labor time needed for the Novavert. So you guys, if you're in the nursery business, you know it's every touch matters. The significance of the 2-foot wide panel being handled by 2 guys is can't be overstated. They can work outside of the building, leave the crops inside the building, leave the tables inside the building, and reskin the roof structure without disturbing any activity inside. Secondly, the panels can be replaced even in inclement weather. You don't have to wait for a day where it's not raining or windy or any such thing. You can attach the new panel to the old panel, and then as it's pulled through, it is replaced. Everybody's working off a man lift. The possibility of a fall is reduced, but the most important thing is you don't have to go back to every clip to undo every piece of material and then go back to the clip again to install every piece of material. Ours is done from the outside up and over the top with a 90% efficiency over our competitor.
Tom, let me just jump in really quick here. So I come from a family of growers, so it's in my blood, so to say. And I've known many growers who would keep this kind of retractable roof system, the previous ones, for as long as possible. So they would go like say, yeah, it's pretty dark in here, but it's still giving me some level of protection, whatever. So in many cases that yield would go down, and they would still maintain it because they know that replacing that cloth, that roof material, is a pain in the neck and would be a huge investment and a huge production loss because they have to redo everything, and you literally have to go to every clip twice, unclip it, and then put the new material in a couple of days later. So with that system, we have major advantage when it comes to service, but also your yield can go up because you're not going to wait until the very last minute. You can do the calculation and say, okay, this is my cost for new material, this is my replacement cost, labor, and this is how much it's going to help me boost my yield back to the level I was used to. We've taken out samples from other greenhouses from previous installs, and we've measured them in a light box so to gain knowledge about the light transmission. And the worst panels that we had, they had 80% shading, so you only had like 20% of the light coming through. What can you grow with 20% light? Absolutely nothing, right? So that should have been replaced years before, and we're glad that we can make that a lot easier now with this system.
Exactly. Now I'm going to dig into Niclas for just a second. The Achilles heel of a retractable shade system, internal or external, are the components. The clips that are on the HS2 system and the clips that are on the Bravo system are made of what?
It's a high durability plastic, and I'm proud to say that we have that manufactured in Germany from virgin material. So like every company on this floor here, we have some production for specific reasons. Some part of our program is made in China, but those parts where it's absolutely critical to provide the best quality possible because they're out to last, they're going to be there forever.
Yes.
Those are made from virgin material in Germany with a company that we're really close friends with, and we've been working with them for 35 years.
Great. I knew the answer to that question before I asked it, as you might imagine. Stainless steel wire, your sourcing on stainless steel wire is also long-term relationships?
Yeah, that is one of the biggest manufacturers in the world, based out of France. And again, we've been working with them forever. I've been in this business since I grew up, and my parents obviously have been working with them before. Mm-hmm. So we have a long-standing relationship with them, and there's no doubt about that stainless steel quality. Let's say if you have an installation which would be really on the sea with salt water and everything, we might think about getting an even higher grade of stainless steel. But for 99.9% of the projects, this is just it's like life and insurance. So we don't compromise on that quality, and even more important, we don't compromise on the quality of the wire strainers, which is an integral part. And we've seen that with other installations that people have been using those funny small turnbuckles, mm-hmm. which are they do the trick. Like if you're okay with it and replacing them after 10 years, but we aren't, and we don't expect our customers really to do that. So what we do is we only go with one brand, and that is from the UK. That's called Ripple. They're super easy to work with. You just push them on, and they'll be there for life. They're out of die-cast aluminum, and they have a ceramic inside. It's absolutely it's a dream to work with those.
Yeah, unmatched quality. Raise your hand if you've used a Gripple and you agree. Okay, if you've ever used a Gripple, you know it's not letting go.
Yeah.
So, thank you for that.
Over here on the screen, you'll see the facility over in Cincinnati. Other than being used by growers, it's a multi-use system. We put up a 52 by 52 above our loading docks to be able to keep snow out, and it's strong enough to keep them closed all year so that we don't have to worry about kind of weather. Can you touch on some of the other uses that you've seen the system used for?
Obviously, whenever plants or people want to be protected against adverse weather conditions, this is a very good choice. Basically, with plants, you can always say, okay, I can grow this outdoors, but I still need the protection from rain, hail, frost, whatever. And the same applies to people. So we've done a restaurant, for example, in Switzerland, another one in Germany as well, where they had tables outside, and they wouldn't want to have their reservations canceled when it just seemed to be like a rainy day. And there's so many other places where we've been using this system. On atriums in school, we've done like an insurance company. Whenever it's hard to reach, and whenever it's, let's say, out of the regular scope. In Denmark, for example, we did an installation which is 11 meters high, and it's in an office building, so you needed special security access to go in there. And they said, hey, we want something that's going to be here for the next 20 years. And we want it to look impeccable, we want it to work fine, and we don't want to have any service and no scissor lifts driving around, because we have to clear that office. And whether you have to clear your office or your lettuce growing area, it's basically the same thing, comes at a huge cost. So whenever you look at those installations, HS2 is a perfect choice.
Previously, Niclas, we discussed some of the different materials that can be installed in the HS2. Can you give us a range of those materials and what the uses might be?
Absolutely. So we've done everything from super clear film, and that includes F-Clean, which is a brand name. It is the transparent sister of Teflon, as we say. Super clear film, fire safe, doesn't degenerate under UV. Has been installed in a big facility, garden center in Germany. That is, let's say, about 90% light transmission. And it was interesting to see, because usually we'd look at the retractable roof greenhouse and say, hey, does it really matter if the material is 90% or 85% or 80% light transmitting? And I'd say no, because the point is you'll retract it, and that's when you get the maximum light into your greenhouse anyway. So that was also a cold area, but the customer just had picked this material for his specific choice. He liked it and he wanted the longevity. So that material gives you longevity, comes at a certain price. And we have more standard materials like regular polyethylene, which are like probably 80% of the products we sell or of the projects. They range from 280 to 400 grams. They give excellent hail protection, resistance against UV, etc. is great. We used to do a PVC material as well. We have thicker tarps that go up to 800 grams, which is like truck tarp. And we use those for blackout series, for example. So the system is not only 99.9% rain tight, you can also have it 99.9 light tight with this blackout material.
Right. So it's possible with the HS2 system up over top to have another material inside.
Absolutely. We can even make double layer systems where you pull in a double layer material into those channels if you wanted to have like a better heat savings. And the choices are endless. We typically don't want to confuse the customer by giving them too many choices. So we say, okay, this is 1, 2, 3. These are what we think is suitable choices for you. If you have like a greenhouse film and you've been working with that for forever in your greenhouses, we might just as well be possible to use that as well, because we've been testing probably something between 35 and 40 different materials on the system already. And we do all the welding and processing in-house in our facilities in Germany.
Right. So from a 9mm poly to a truck tarp.
Almost. Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. So the material is fused around a 5mm rope strand, sent through the aluminum extrusions. So if you need to replace a 2-foot wide by 200-foot panel, not a 12-foot, if you have a tear, not a 12-foot piece by 250.
Yeah.
So.
And one more thing that I really like to point out, when you have like maybe different greenhouses with different dimensions, we could basically provide you a master roll, not knowing in which greenhouse you would use this, because as we did for your trial house there, everything came on a master roll, and the roll doesn't need to know whether the project is with 20 feet, 40 feet, 160 feet, whatever. So if you're a grower and you like, okay, I want to make sure that at all times I can replace any damaged material immediately, just put in one roll in your warehouse, in your facility, and like a mother roll, and you'll be able to use it anywhere, because there's no more customizing with this. We have no connections between the wire bed and the film, and that is what makes the thing so service friendly.
Thank you. We could take some questions. I just don't know if we'd be able to hear them. So if anybody has any, go ahead.
What was that? So the system works fine when you have like 3% slope. That could be a regular rich greenhouse, so slope to both sides. We can have a shed roof type. We can also work this in completely horizontal installations. We've done that before. It gets a little more tricky because usually the panels would be like straight on a roll, what I was just telling them. We can do even with purely horizontal installations and create the slope within the material. So that means your panels will be trapezoid. Requires some extra labor and it's not the exact standard, but we've done this a couple of times and works fine. Yeah.
And the Bravo system can be retrofitted onto existing structures. So if you do have an A-frame retractable roof, that can be retrofitted with the Bravo system rather than the HS2 system.
Right. And then if your greenhouse was, greater than a 5-degree roof pitch, it could be that we would have one system on this side of the ridge and one system on this side of the ridge. So, you got any other thoughts?
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you, guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The bad news is we do have a video that won't work due to the Wi-Fi. You can find it on our YouTube channel, but the good news is we do have a live demonstration over at booth 1025. We have both the HS2 and the Bravo system. So if any questions pop up while you're wandering around, or if you want to see it up close and personal, feel free to stop by the booth.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.